You're watching Central Illinois' best source for news and weather. WAND News at 4 starts now.
Reaching the tipping point now at 4, health leaders take a closer look at the COVID numbers as they worry there's not enough beds for patients. Plus, pleading the fifth why the trial of Derek Chauvin is on hold until next week. First at 4, a rodent issue at the Decatur South Shores Kroger expected to be resolved quickly. As we told you yesterday, the store's doors are closed right now. The Macon County Health Department says it's due to rodent activity. Kroger says employees will still be paid as the store is shut down. Employees will not be relocated. A health alert that we want to tell you about right now. Rising COVID cases and hospitalizations are a cause for concern. Local health leaders are worried there won't be enough beds for patients. WAD's Karen Eisert breaks down the numbers across Central Illinois for us in the Live Center.
State leaders and health leaders are continuing to monitor case rates and hospitalizations. When we look at our regional metrics, we'll go ahead and take a look at Region 3, which is Sangamon County to the west. We can see there's been 10 days of patient increase. Now, when we go ahead and take a look over at Region 6, which is Macon County over to the east, we can see there's been a 5-day increase of patients admitted to the hospital with COVID-19. When we take a look at our overall state metrics, we can see this growing trend of people admitted to the hospital with the virus. Now, Dr. Mark Shelton with HSHS says this could be due to those new variants making their way into our communities.
It's almost certainly, if you look at the curves of where we went way up in November, then we started to come down. It was looking really good. Now it's headed back up a little bit. So we know that this fits with the fact that these variants are more contagious than the original wild type.
Well, Dr. Shelton says there is some good news that there are vaccine appointments available and people can go and get their shots. Keep in mind, vaccine administration and these metrics that we just took a look at is what the state is going to look at when it comes to those reopening phases. Reporting from the Live Center, I'm Karen Eisert, WAND News.
Thanks, Karen. New at 4, if you got the Pfizer vaccine, you'll probably need a third dose booster. Pfizer CEO says that third dose would come 12 months after you're fully vaccinated. He also says it's possible we may need to get vaccines every year. Researchers still don't know how long protection against the virus lasts once someone has been vaccinated.
Good Thursday afternoon. We've had plenty of sunshine today, but temperatures not quite where we would like to see them. Let's go and take a look outside on our Floor in America Barn Citizen building. You're going to notice the blue skies there. A little bit more clouds this afternoon than we start off with this morning, but nonetheless, plenty of sunshine as we wrap up our day. Satellite radar, well, again, showing a few clouds, but otherwise you can see dry conditions across much of the Midwest. The one exception today would have been up towards Detroit, but otherwise temperatures right now in the mid to upper 50s. We can't complain a whole lot. However, we would hope for this time of year, our average is actually 64 degrees, so we would like to be in that 60-degree range. But hey, you know what? We'll take the sunshine and some cooler temperatures over rain. So overall, over the next 7 days, we can expect to remain below average. We'll break down what that means, where we're going to be at for your weekend, how long the sunshine will last, but overall, how many more April showers we can see. I'll have all the details coming up in a few short minutes.
Some developing news now. The murder trial of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin has wrapped up until Monday morning. This after Chauvin told the judge he would not testify in his own defense. With the jury not present, the defense told the judge it will rest its case. Chauvin spoke to the court, saying it was his decision and his decision alone not to testify.
Is this your decision not to testify?
It is, Your Honor.
All right. Do you have any questions about your right to remain silent or to testify on your own behalf?
Not at this time, I don't.
All right. Has anyone promised anything or threatened you in any way to keep you from testifying?
No promises or threats, Your Honor.
Now, court is scheduled to reconvene Monday morning for closing arguments and jury instruction. The Minnesota officer charged in the death of Deontay Wright made her first court appearance today. Kim Potter is charged with second-degree manslaughter. Officials say the former police officer shot and killed Wright during a traffic stop when she mistook her gun for a taser. Potter was with the Brooklyn Center Police Department for 26 years. Wright's family says even with the charges, there will never be justice. The family addressing reporters in Brooklyn Center before going to the funeral home. Deontay's mother saying that even though accountability was held, they still have to bury their son.
The justice would bring our son home to us. knocking on the door with his big smile, coming in the house, sitting down eating dinner with us, going out to lunch, playing with his 1-year-old, almost 2-year-old son, giving him a kiss before he walks out the door. So justice isn't even a word to me.
Deontay Wright was 20 years old. His funeral is set for next Thursday. And this just in, the Chicago Review Board has released video of an officer shooting and killing a 13-year-old boy. Adam Toledo was shot and killed back on March 29th. The video being released 2 days after Adam's family first saw it. It is graphic and it is very hard to watch. The family and Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot calling for residents to express themselves peacefully after watching the video herself. Looking ahead, a Springfield man is set to appear in federal court tomorrow for his involvement for the January Capitol riots. In an FBI interview, 39-year-old Thomas Adams admitted to being inside the building at the time. He faces several charges, including violent entry. Adams told a Global News and Lifestyle publication he was one of the first people to step foot inside the Capitol. Making those with disabilities a priority, state lawmakers are pushing more funding for Illinois organizations that aid these groups. WAND's Thomas Garverick shows us the money could actually provide stability for thousands that need these services.
A study conducted by the Guidehouse Inc. is fueling the push by state lawmakers for Illinois' system of care for people with disabilities to receive an additional $329 million in funding.
We were already a system in crisis before the pandemic, and we are trying to figure out what tomorrow brings. These funds have never been more critical.
Funding would address the state's concern for the 55% turnover rate in employees.
Our frontline staff administer medications, they drive paratransit vehicles, they have to implement behavior support plans. They're doing very high-level work for very low wages. They are the men and women that help people to thrive in their lives. Without them, we have no service delivery systems.
Governor Pritzker signed off on $77 million in funding in February, but Zeller says it's not enough to provide the level of care needed.
There's been community organizations that's had to consolidate services or homes. I think that unless we really make this investment, there's going to be a tsunami of urgent, critical crises that's going to be coming our way.
A list of 18,000 people in need of these services with the potential of getting bigger without funding.
Not only is the $329 million needed to stabilize what we have now for people currently in the system, but it's also a roadmap to ensure that those families and individuals that are waiting will have services when they need them as well.
Indicator, Thomas Garverick, WAND News.
And Johnson says in the past decade, the highest Illinois has ranked in state funding for these organizations is just 45th. Having tough conversations coming up, how one organization trying to make it easy to talk to your kids about consent. And more people are starting to travel after a year of shutdowns. It is Talk Back Thursday. Which destination is at the top of your post-pandemic travel list? But first, WAND News and Papa Murphy's have teamed up for you to win a family pack from Papa Murphy's. Go to our website, you're going to enter the code word seen there at the bottom of your screen. One person will be selected to win 2 large topping pizzas, a side, and a soda. The winner will be announced tomorrow at 4, then be sure to watch again next Thursday for another chance to win. We'll be right back. April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. It's something that can be difficult for adults to talk about with their children, but the Growing Strong Sexual Assault Center knows that those talks are crucial. The organization sends educators to schools to start these conversations with kids and teens, but they're done in an age-appropriate way. The organization says it's up to parents and older siblings to reinforce those lessons.
That is the missing piece of the puzzle, is getting parents on board to talk about this to their kids. It starts out slow, just begin to talk to them, and then talk to them more about their relationships, their day, their whoever their relationship is with. It's not a one-time thing.
Now, if your child confides in you he or she was sexually assaulted, believe them and support them however you can. Playing it safe still to come, where Illinois ranks among the 50 states when it comes to containing COVID-19. Well, stimulus checks have Americans on a spending spree. The Commerce Department says retail sales surged nearly 10% in March. Sporting goods and clothing stores saw the biggest jump in sales. And of course, food and beverage sales are on the rise thanks to states relaxing COVID-19 restrictions. The number of Americans applying for unemployment is the lowest that it's been during the pandemic. The labor market says unemployment claims last week sunk to 576,000. Experts point to relaxed restrictions and businesses filling positions left empty during the shutdown. The numbers are still way higher than they were pre-pandemic, though. Wallet Hub is revealing the safest states during COVID-19. The states are ranked based on 5 key metrics: COVID transmission, positive testing, hospitalizations and death, as well as vaccination rates. New Hampshire was named the safest state. The least safe, Georgia. Illinois finding itself somewhere in the middle, coming in at 24. Well, pay the pooch. Still ahead, how your dog could put $20,000 in your back pocket. Hey, don't forget, it's Talkback Thursday. Today's question: which destination is at the top of your post-pandemic travel wish list? Head to our Facebook page to put in your last-minute answers, and make sure to join Phil and I in just a few seconds on Facebook Live. All right, one of America's favorite celebrity couples, Phil, they're no more. Jennifer Lopez and Alex Rodriguez are going their separate ways. The two revealed the news in an exclusive joint statement to Today. The performing sensation and former baseball slugger have been a couple since 2017. They say they work better as friends and will continue to work and support each other. So this means that A-Rod is on the market and I have a chance now?
Or is he just going to go back to playing baseball?
Oh!
Hey, you know what? St. Louis Cardinals, I feel like, would welcome as long as he can continue to hit.
I mean, probably. I mean, and he'd be closer to Illinois, like...
Maybe, yeah, for sure.
Might have a crush, but anyways. Want to make $20,000 without doing any of the work? Well, Busch Beer wants to hire your dog to taste test its dog brew. The alcohol-free beer is actually made from bone broth. Last year, the inaugural batch of dog brew sold out within 24 hours. Perks of the position include pet insurance and a free supply of the dog brew. Phil, you're the only one here that has a dog, so...
Busch. Hey, listen, I love Busch beer. I'm sure my dog would like to enjoy a Busch beer.
It's just bone broth, though. I feel like you could make that yourself.
Yeah, you know what? I wonder if that would be... You know how, like, as kids, a lot of people, like, dare each other to eat dog food? I don't want that to become the new trend. I really don't.
All right.
So...
Okay. Well, it's time for Talkback Thursday. We asked about this on our Facebook page. Vaccinations are ramping up. More and more people starting to travel. So which destination is at the top of your post-pandemic travel wish list? It seems like Florida was the most popular answer. And how about Steve Jurgensen saying if he can get a couple more stimulus checks, he's going to Hawaii? I'm all about this.
I would love to go to Hawaii. I have always said this. I've heard Alaska is absolutely beautiful during the summer.
I have never been to Alaska, but I have a couple friends that work in TV there.
So I can't write that off. Now, I could understand where people don't want to go during the winter. I understand that.
No.
But hey, you know what? During the summer, 50, 60 degrees, beautiful scenery.
Right.
Maybe a bear or two.
I mean,
whales.
All of it's great.
For sure.
I mean, wildlife. I lived in Idaho and Montana, and it's just amazing up there. So.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think I want to go to somewhere warm and tropical. Hawaii, Puerto Rico, somewhere.
Florida. I feel like Florida's the good place to go because it's a safe choice. It's right there.
Every crazy story that I ever read is out of Florida. I don't need to be around crazy. I'm crazy enough.
See, I guess I don't read a whole lot of crazy stories. I just more read weather and forecast, and you read all the news stuff.
This is true. So. All right, we'll have another look at your forecast right after this. Phil, there is one thing missing from your forecast.
What's that?
70s.
Yeah, you know what? And it doesn't look like it's going to be making a comeback, at least within the next about 7 to 10 days. So we're looking at this forecast right here, and it looks discouraging. But keep in mind, at least we have sunshine. It's not just all rain showers. You may notice a night shower Friday night into Saturday. That sets us back a little bit. But Monday we recover back in the mid-60s with some sunshine. Well, but then more showers start to move through. So, hey, you know what? Even though we have these temperatures going on, we have a little bit of rain showers. I guarantee you everyone's sitting there thinking, you know what? It was Talkback Thursday. I'm going to take a vacation. And, hey, you know what? Maybe Florida does have a little bit better weather than
I mean, Florida always seems like it has better weather.
Or 70s, 80s.
Like earlier this last winter, Alaska was warmer than us.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you want to go to Alaska, so.
I do.
All right.
Maybe it's a planned trip to Alaska.
We'll see if Phil makes it to Alaska. Tune in tomorrow. See you later.